If you want to be wealthy, you are running out of time. But these 10 things that I've learned going from homeless to generating millions of dollars will help you get there faster. Pay attention, take notes, and let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Okay, number one, be willing to repeat yourself for years. You're going to have to tell your story over and over again, and your story is going to evolve and change. If you look at some of your favorites, what they have to do is tell their story over and over again. Think about Beyonce. We know her story. Think about Oprah. We know her story. Imagine how many times she has said it. You're going to have to start doing that. It's almost like a comedian and a musician who has to sing the same song over and over again. And I asked my friend once a few years ago, who is a singer-songwriter, how does she sing this song with such emotion every single night for years? And she said, I break my own heart all over again. And now that's crazy, but it's true. So what I do when I need to tell my story over and over again in an interview to my audience, etc., is I put myself back in the place mentally. And it helps me keep it fresh and it helps me keep it authentic. The next thing is number two, have conviction about something important for a long time. So have an opinion and be convicted in that opinion. Of course, you can be flexible, but having a strong opinion will help you. It'll help people find you. It'll help you find your customer, your followers, your audience, and have that over a long period of time. This is what I did when I went from being homeless to raising a venture capital firm for women, people of color, and LGBTQ founders. Because for years I said it's not right that we only get a small percentage of the total venture capital amount, and I want to do something about it. And then for a decade, I worked on it. And that established me with a strong voice and position. And that is what helped me make a name for myself and for others like me. Number three, you're going to reread the same books multiple times. This one is what a lot of people do not do. So you may have some great books that you like, some business books, some books that are about mindset shifts, about tactics. Think about a book that's coming to mind right now. How many times have you read it? Now, for your favorite books, you may already be doing this, but think about a book that helped you once, but you never picked it up again. And let me tell you why this is important. It's important because if you read a book at a certain time in your life, it'll help you most likely at that time in your life. But if you read it 6 months later or a year later or even more, and you read it, every year or so, it's going to hit differently. It's going to mean something more to you, and it's going to make more sense to you, or certain parts will, because you've had more lived experience. So I do this, for example, with a book that Oprah put out called What I Know for Sure. I also do this with Rachel Rogers' book, a friend of mine. She has We Should All Be Millionaires. And I do it with my own books. It's About Damn Time, Your First Million, which is behind me. I do that with my own books because I wrote them at a certain time in my life and career. And it's so interesting to me to see. I sometimes give myself advice through my books, if that makes sense. So you're going to find a couple of books that you read. It could also be a post. It also could be a video that you watched, but you watched it a while ago. And you're going to revisit it. And you're going to see how it changes things or how it has changed because you have changed. Number four, you're going to get comfortable with rejection. It's just a part of the game of entrepreneurship. And it's also a numbers game. When I was a little younger, about 10, 15 years ago, I wanted to get into live touring. So I sent an email out to 100 tour managers and production managers. I wanted to be a production assistant and coordinator for musical tours. I sent 100 emails, and that was when sending 100 emails was much harder than it is today. I got 80 people ghosted me completely. 20 people responded though. So if I hadn't sent it out to the 100 and and been okay receiving nothing from the 80, I wouldn't have got the 20. Now out of those 20, only 3 of them agreed to meet with me. So 17 rejected. And then one of those 3 led to me working with an international musician that was a household name at the time. So 99 no's to get the one yes. And it was a numbers game. Imagine if I had stopped at sending out emails at 10 or 15 if I hadn't heard back or got a no. So you have to start thinking about rejection as part of the process. And you have to start wanting to get rejected so that you get closer to the yes. The next thing is number 5, which is have integrity and walk away from the wrong deal. I negotiate all day long. It's what I do in my business. I used to do it in investing. Still am an investor, but I do a lot more entrepreneurship than investing. And it's always a negotiation with the customer, with the vendor, with yourself. There's a negotiation, right? And there's some times where you're going to get opportunities that may bring you money, but it may challenge your own integrity. It may not feel right to you. Maybe somebody's getting screwed over. Maybe nobody will ever know, but you'll know that something's not right. Be willing to walk away from a deal like that, even if it means you lose money, and you will bring on so much good energy for yourself moving forward. This happened to me so many times where I turned down the wrong money and then had so much more of the right money. Number 6, simplify the complex. So if something is complex to someone else and you simplify it for them, you can sell that. You can sell it as information, you can sell it as implementation, you can sell it as demonstration, right? Meaning, again, I'll do it right now. What I just said, if that was complex to anybody, what I'm going to do is break it down for you. If something is hard to understand by a group of people or a lot of people, and you can look at it and learn it and understand it, and then translate it to that group in a way that is maybe you're giving them a course, or maybe you're doing it for them, or maybe you're working with them one-on-one and doing it with them. If you can do that, those are different ways that you not only make money that day, but you start to build and stack wealth doing that. Because then you become someone who is a bridge and someone who is the plug for somebody. It is one of the best things that I ever did was to share what I learned with the world. I do that on YouTube with my videos. Someone told me today that they've watched 325 of my videos because YouTube gave the end of year review and it said it on there. 325 of my videos because I put a video up almost every day. That is amazing. And they do that, I'm going to assume, because they're learning from me, because I simplify what is complex. Number 7, you're going to embrace your obsession. If this list is helping you, make sure you are subscribed to this channel and look at the description below for something I have for you, a resource that I have for you. So make sure you're subscribed. Let me know which one of these so far is your favorite. Number 7 is you're going to embrace your own obsession. And I don't mean being obsessed with a person. That's not really healthy. I mean being obsessed with an interest of yours. And that can be positive in a way. So I'm obsessed with learning. I'm obsessed with simplifying the complex. I'm obsessed with helping other people get freedom and make more money so that they can have options. And I think about it all the time. And I'm obsessed with making YouTube work. Although if YouTube went away, is kind of crazy on these streets, I would be okay. I'm obsessed with learning about certain AI, vibe coding. I'm obsessed with learning. And then I'm obsessed with seeing how I can turn that into tools for others. and information for others. So if you can find something that you're really, really passionate about, it can take you so far. And don't worry if somebody says, oh, that's stupid, or that's not a real career, or that's not something serious. You're an adult. You shouldn't do that. Do you know how many people are making money because they collect Pokemon cards and tell other people about it? Do you know how many people make money because they play video games or because they watch certain television shows and do reviews about it? Like, whatever your thing is, if you're passionate about helping people get off the streets, if you're passionate about something spiritually, whatever you're obsessed about, if it's not a person, you can turn that into not only income, but wealth. Now, going back to having strong opinions, number three is that you're, number eight, sorry, number eight is that you're going to share your opinions publicly. And this is important, so pay attention. Be willing to be proven wrong. If you go out there and you share your voice with the world, you share your opinion, you have a strong conviction about something for a long period of time, you most likely at some point are going to have someone challenge that. And you also are most likely, just because that is what life is, to be proven wrong at some point. So if you can go out there and not be afraid of being wrong in public, then you can make things happen for yourself. Again, I want you to think about someone who is very wealthy, who you consider to be somebody who has made it. They have all of this for the most part. You know, I don't know if they have the integrity. I haven't been in those behind the room, behind the scenes rooms, but I can tell you they've probably done at least three of these things that I've listed so far. And one of them is they probably have put themselves out there because you know them. If they had said, "Oh, I don't want to show my face on YouTube," or "Oh, I don't want to be out there. I don't want people to know me," and then you wouldn't know about them and they would not have the wealth and riches that they have. So if that's something that is interesting to you, you don't have to be wealthy, but if you are interested in being wealthy, I'm telling you, as someone who took myself out of poverty, has generated millions of dollars, and has interviewed more millionaires and billionaires than most people on this planet, that sharing your voice and being willing to be wrong is one of the most important things you can do. I have been wrong so many times publicly that I cannot count. And if I were not willing to be wrong in public, if I were not willing to repeat myself, which I've said all of this before, if I weren't willing to do the things on this list, I would not have had that success and the future success I plan on having. Number nine, this is when things, the nine and 10 are when things get really, really intense. So I want you to pay close attention and see how it all ties together. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel by clicking the subscribe button below. And let me know in the comments which one has been resonating with you so far. So number nine is that you're going to align everything you do in business and some of it in personal life with the big picture. And you can call that your tree trunk. So the tree trunk is the main thing that you're doing. It's the main, it is rooted, and you're going to work on that for a long time. It takes years and years and sometimes decades for a tree to grow, right? Like usually decades. You're going to stay firm and focus on the big picture, the now, the near future, and the far off future. And you're going to stay centered in that. I'm not telling you anything that I haven't done yet. So this is what I do. This is how I think behind the scenes. And yes, you can have branches from that after a while where you can start to branch out into other things. But this may mean for you having one product that you sell to one person for 1 year or more until you make $100,000 or $1 million or whatever you want your bank account to look like. That's what that type of thing means. It's not exact numbers or time periods, but it's being very centered. So for everyone who has so many ideas and you don't know what to offer, you don't know what to do, what you're doing is taking time away from the actual selling part. Because if you're here just thinking about all the decisions that you're trying to make instead of making a decision and seeing if it works, you are going to be stuck in that mode. I said recently that decision mode, it brings you a lot of decisions to make, and it keeps you from earning mode. So the longer you're making decisions, the less time you have to earn. So what big decision can you make today that will help you, and what can you center your career around? It does not have to be something that you do for the rest of your life. You can be flexible. You can learn from data and experience. But you must make a decision and you must decide on one thing so that you can build firmly in the ground, straight up into the air, and then you can branch out. Okay, now you ready for the number 10? This one is probably my favorite, but don't let that sway your answer in the comments of what your favorite is. Number 10, make sure you're subscribed and you look down at the description below and send this over to a friend if you think they would enjoy it or get something out of it. Number 10, you are going to focus on the thing you love working on the most. If you focus on what you love working on, what you would do even if you weren't being paid, then not only will, there's a cliche of you'll never have to work a day in your life. That may or may not be true. But what will be true is that you will have the fuel to sustain you for a very long period of time. If you focus on what you love doing rather than what you think you're supposed to do because of society, your friends, your family, your parents, your siblings, or your offspring, you focus on what you love. I love helping to empower women and people of color, and especially Black women, to have more freedom by making more money, building their wealth, and having more options. I love it. So everything I do centers on that and on the big picture, which was number 9. Now, if you want some help getting oriented or orientated, if you're a little lost, you have too many ideas, or you don't know what to sell, or you don't know how to find your audience, I have a free tool for you in the description below I mentioned earlier. And what it is my GPS. It's like when you're in a car and you have like something that helps you navigate. It's a very, very simple survey. It has 5 questions only. They're very simple to fill out. And when you fill them out, it'll tell you what to do next. And it's helped so many people in the last few days alone that I want to make sure you know about it. So go to the link below in the description or the pinned comment and check out my GPS. It's free, totally free for you. And watch another video of mine because it'll help you. It'll help you get on the path that you want to be on.